Over the last few weeks, we have been witnessing some clash between popular YouTubers and Smita Prakash owned news agency ANI.
तो ANI ने कॉपीराइट स्ट्राइक मारी है इस चैनल पे एंड 15 लाख प्लस GST अमाउंट मांगा है.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 seconds. You use strike footage without my permission. I put a claim on YouTube. They have put a strike, copyright strike.
ANI ने मुझ पर प्रेशर डाला कि अगर मैंने 50 लाख रुपए नहीं दिए तो मेरा चैनल डिलीटेड रहेगा.
सो ये 4 बजे सब कुछ शुरू हुआ. 2 स्ट्राइक्स देखते ही एंड सीन वहीं पर शुरू हो गया. मेरी नींद खुली. पहले तो मैं थोड़ा सा पैनिक हो गया क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली तुम नींद से उठो और एकदम से कोई ऐसा बम फट जाए तुम्हारे सर पे तो तुम्हारे को एकदम पैनिक तो होगा ही.
और भी बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस है आपके पास करने के लिए, लेकिन अगर आप स्ट्राइक चूज कर रहे हो तो भाई वो अल्टीमेट लेवल का डिसीजन आपने लिया है. उससे ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. उससे ऊपर क्या है पता है? पैसे मांगना. वो भी हो रहा है.
इसलिए वो चाहते हैं कि डे बाय डे नेगोशिएशन एक्सटेंड होती रहे. एक बार चैनल डिलीट हो गया तो मैं जो भी नंबर बोलूंगा वो मान जाएंगे. पर बेचारे को पता नहीं वो किससे बात कर रहा है. यूएस की एक पॉलिसी है दैट दे डोंट नेगोशिएट विद किडनैपर्स. एटलीस्ट ऑफिशियली ये पॉलिसी है एंड आई फील दैट इज माय पॉलिसी आल्सो. मैं ANI के साथ नेगोशिएशन करने नहीं आया. डिलीट करना ना चैनल कर दो.
अब आपको भी पता है कि हुआ क्या है. आपको पता है, हमने बात बताई थी, अब सबके सामने है. ANI की तरफ से स्ट्राइक्स आई है. 18 लाख की डिमांड हुई है. और अब ये कहानी आपने उन लोगों से भी सुन ली होगी जिनको स्ट्राइक्स नहीं आई है कि ऐसी स्ट्राइक आ रही है, इतना सेकंड, इतना क्लिप, सब बता चुका हूं मैं भी अपने पिछले वीडियो में.
सो बहुत सारे क्रिएटर्स ने पैसे ऑलरेडी दे दिए हैं उनको 18-20 लाख एंड बहुत सारों ने नहीं दिए. मैंने नहीं दिए पैसे.
एंड मैं मानता हूँ ANI का ये बिजनेस है. ANI ये कह रहा है कि हमारा ये बिजनेस है, हम इसी बिजनेस पे ड्राइव करते हैं, इसी से हमारी सैलरी निकलती है. समझ आ रहा है, सब चीजें अग्री हो रही है यहाँ पे. सारी बातें समझ में आ रही है कि ठीक है तुम्हारा ये बिजनेस है, दिस इज द नेचर ऑफ योर बिजनेस. बट क्या ये एथिकल बिजनेस है कि तुम किसी के ऊपर 3 स्ट्राइक्स और 8-5-7 वीडियो पे एक साथ स्ट्राइक मार दो और फिर उसके साथ ये बात हो, या तो उसके साथ कोई बात ही ना हो.
अब मुझे नहीं पता इसको मैं क्या बोलूं, धमकी बोलूं या प्यार से हमारा सब्सक्रिप्शन ले लो बोलूं. इतने सालों से कभी ऐसा किसी ने नहीं किया है कि भाई आप पे और भी स्ट्राइक्स मारी है. अगर आपको चाहिए कि आपका चैनल बचा रहे तो पैसे दे दो. यही है, तो पैसे दे दो.
What is happening here? Well, mota, a bunch of YouTubers are calling out ANI for what it really is. A media giant that's using YouTube's copyright system like a medieval weapon, like a sword, if you will. Copyright strikes, threats of channel deletion, demanding lakhs and lakhs of rupees just to make those strikes disappear. Yeah, that's what's happening. Just look at the comments under Mohawk's video. YouTube India must be held accountable and should ban ANI from its platform on grounds of blackmailing creators. Creators make the platform, not thieves like ANI. Full support to you. It seems like ANI is running an extortion racket. All creators need to unite against this. बहुत लोगों के साथ ये घटियापन हो रहा था. Thank you for putting this out, bhai. Everyone is with you. YouTube should take steps to make sure creators don't end up feeling helpless after putting in years of hard work. This ANI should be banned from YouTube. Sad that creators are facing this blackmail shit. We are with you, Mohawk. Digital Gundaraj. Full support. So clearly, people are really pissed off with ANI right now. This story first blew up thanks to a detailed investigation by Ayushi Kar for the Reporters Collective. They spoke to multiple YouTubers, dug through their emails and found that ANI is running a whole business model here. Step 1. Slap YouTubers with multiple copyright strikes. Step 2. Threaten to nuke their channels. Step 3. Demand 15, 20, 50 lakh as license fees to unstrike them. Step 4. Profit. Oh, but wait, it's not over yet because ANI then sued Mohawk Mangal and other YouTubers for calling this whole thing extortion. That's why I am not calling it extortion. I'm really not. I'm specifically not calling this behavior which involves forcing people to pay money at the cost of losing their livelihoods extortion. Okay, ANI lawyers. Cool. What ANI is doing here though is not journalism. It is not copyright protection either. What they are doing looks a bit like legalized bullying. Yeah, that's what I'm going with now. I say legalized because guess what? all the things that they are doing is legal. Yeah, morally shitty, but legal. And that's what makes this story so dangerous. Because it's not just about ANI being greedy, it's about a system that allows them to do this and let them get away with it. You see, this whole story is not as simple as it seems. So, in this video, we are going to go deep. This is a video about ANI Media, or should I call it Godani Media? It has a nice ring to it, no? Godani. Yeah. This is a video about copyright law and intellectual property. This is a video about why Godani is bullying YouTubers. On that, I have a bunch of thoughts. Have you ever played Monopoly or its Indian cousin Business? It's that game where you roll dice, buy up properties, and before you know it, one guy owns half the board and you're just paying rent wherever you go at every single square, and then you lose. Imagine a player playing Monopoly before the other players actually join the game. They buy most of the properties on the board, then other players just have to come in, go around the board and pay rent endlessly. That's basically ANI, except that the board is India's media ecosystem. Here's the backstory. ANI, short for Asian News International, was founded in 1971 by Prem Prakash. He started his career in 1957, 2 whole years before Doordarshan was even born. And thanks to his epic networking skills, Prem Uncle built relationships in both journalism and political circles. In the 1960s, he got cozy with Reuters. Yeah, that Reuters, the world news agency. Today, they own 49% of ANI. And if the surname Prakash sounds familiar to you, that's because ANI is now run by none other than his daughter-in-law, Smita Prakash, our beloved Godani boss lady, the copyright queen, the grand diva of disinformation, collector of samosas like Abhijit Iyer Mitra. That one. I wish I could play his clip of snake dancing, but then copyright strike lag jayega. Can't do it. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't show Abhijit Iyer Mitra dancing. That is the problem here.
तेरे से गंदा डांसर मैंने आज तक नहीं देखा।
So, what made ANI a monopoly is this. They have built a massive, unbeatable network of reporters, stringers, and cameramen spread across the country. Their stringers shove ANI mics into people's faces, take bites, make videos, and then sell those videos to news channels for a subscription fee. So the best descriptor of what ANI does is in their header image on Twitter. Mics in people's faces is the business. You see? Yeah, it's very obvious. In 2018, a source told The Ken that 60% of daily multimedia content on Indian news channels came from ANI. 60%. And that was in 2018. So in 2025, I think it might be higher now. Just think about that. When you turn on the news, whether it's on TV or on YouTube or on social media, there's a good chance that you will see a video which originated from ANI. They are the source. The source. Thousands of videos every day posted on the internetverse and on TV come from ANI. And it's not just about quantity, it's also about control. ANI has exclusive access to major government events. They are the only private media house that was allowed inside the Ram Mandir sanctum when it was being inaugurated. They are the ones who get to fly with Modi on his foreign tours. They were the ones who were in lockdown with Modi during COVID and taking like amazing pictures of him during lockdown. They even have PR contracts with chief ministers. Yes, ANI literally sells coverage packages to politicians, basically saying, pay us and we will make you look good. That's not journalism. That's like a PR firm with a all-access VIP press pass. You see, ANI isn't just a news agency. It is a pipeline of power. A channel that carries government narratives straight into your news feed. And sometimes the narratives are absolutely top quality bullshit. For instance, in April 2021, while the pandemic was raging, ANI put out a strange press release. It was titled Announcing India's First Clinically Tested Medicine for COVID-19 Management and Treatment, Ayudh Advance. It said this. Ayudh Advance is a liquid formulation comprising 21 different types of plant-based extracts. Ayurvedic scriptures report these ingredients to be effective and safe to be used for human consumption. These curative medicinal ingredients are processed using quantum technology and colloidal sciences and are broken down to angstrom-sized, that is 1/10 of a nanometer particles. This makes them far more effective. Ayudh Advance starts where vaccines stop. Okay, I'm not a scientist. I don't know about you, but that to me sounds like a tabela full of bullshit. Yet the press release was published without editing. News Laundry says it was published in Business Standard, Yahoo News, Aaj Tak, Dainik Bhaskar, Divya Bhaskar and Z News. It got so bad that the government's Health Science and Technology Institute said that all of this was fake news. So ANI quietly deleted the press release and so did the other news channels. Just vanished as if it never happened. Just think about the sheer power that ANI holds over national narrative. They can literally publish anything, call it source-based, and media houses will willingly, blindly amplify it to every one of us. So to put it mildly, they are powerful as hell. And now this giant news agency has, well, started a new side hustle, legalized bullying. If you are an independent YouTuber using a 5-second clip of their footage, say Modi waving at an airport or flagging off a train, they'll slap you with a copyright strike, threaten to shut down your channel and demand 50 lakh rupees to make it all go away. So yeah, that's ANI. Not just a newswire, not just a business. It's Godani Media, a monopoly that controls the narrative, the distribution, and now wants to control the YouTube creator space as well. How are they doing that? For that, you need to understand in simple terms, copyright is a legal right. It says if you make something original, like a song, a movie, a painting, or a video, you get to decide how it's used. You own it. You control it. In India, this is governed by the Copyright Act of 1957. So, if I write a book, make a song, or shoot a video, I get the exclusive right to say who can use it and how. That's the basic idea. For instance, when I do my live streams, I have told my entire community that you can take my videos, copy it, edit it, put it up anywhere on the internet, and even monetize it. Any of my live stream stuff, you can use it, edit it, put it wherever you want. Just give me credit. See, that's me setting copyright for my content. But copyright isn't absolute. It comes with exceptions. In the US, they call it fair use. In India, it's called fair dealing. It's written in section 52 of the Copyright Act. And it says you can use someone else's content without permission, but only in specific cases. For private or personal use, for research, for criticism or review, or for reporting on current events. So, if you're a journalist or a YouTuber and you're using a clip of, let's say, Modi ji twisting buttons in a loco engine, you know, just to make a point. Now that can count as fair use. That clip that I used right now, I took it from DD News, by the way. There is another clip floating around where ANI has just slapped their logo on the same clip and are claiming it's their own. I am not using the ANI clip with their logo slapped on it. Okay, Smita Prakash, I'm just saying I used the Doordarshan clip, which does not have their logo slapped on it. Okay, see what I did there? I used that clip to make a larger point. That's fair use. I feel like I'm playing 3D chess with these ANI lawyers at this point of time. Very fun. Anyway, the point is copyright is complicated. It can get tricky. There is no clear rule on how much is too much. If you use a 5-second clip, is that fair use? What about 30 seconds? What about a minute? The law is kind of vague on this. It depends on a case-by-case basis. It's like arguing over whether showing 4-second video of Modi ji looking glorious is okay, but if you use 6 seconds of it, then he looks cringy. So maybe it becomes a criminal offense? And guess who takes the first call on this? This guy. Yeah, this guy. This one. Yes, our beloved platform that we spend hours on. Hello, YouTube. Hi, how are you doing? Kem cho? Okay, so let's say you are a YouTuber. You use a 10-second clip from ANI in one of your videos that is 30 minutes long. YouTube uses an automated tool called Content ID. It scans your video, matches them to copyright content which has the same content ID, and then asks ANI, the copyright owner, whether they want to act on it. ANI can give a go ahead and bam, strike issued. So ANI can basically do 3 things. And this is important. Pay attention. 1, they can put a copyright claim, which means ANI can ask for all the revenue that your video earns through ads. So they can just take all the money. They can put a copyright strike, which means they can ask for the video to be blocked and taken down from YouTube. 3, they can choose to do nothing. Yeah, they can just be the bigger benevolent organization and let it go. They can be like, this YouTube commentator is making valid points which add to knowledge of citizens and is better for the country. But for that, they need to go to therapy, and I doubt Madam Prakash even believes in such things like therapy. So, never mind. Anyway, the second option, which is the copyright strike, is the most extreme one. If you're a YouTuber and you get 3 strikes in 90 days, your channel is gone. Years of work, community building, audience, all wiped out. Just poof. Now, technically, YouTube also allows you to dispute a claim. You can say,
hey, I'm using this under fair use. I just used 2 seconds of that video. This is not a valid strike. I dispute that. I say this is fair use.
YouTube has a whole mechanism for you to do that, but there's a problem. While you're fighting it out, your channel is frozen. It's in suspended animation. YouTube gives you 7 days to resolve the strikes or they pull the plug. At which point, any YouTuber will start panicking badly. So if a big player like Godani slaps you with multiple strikes, you have 2 choices. Dispute it, fight back, and risk losing your channel, or pay Godani and save your channel. This is exactly what is happening to all of our YouTuber friends. ANI sends 2 strikes, makes them desperate, and then gets in contact to demand a buttload of money. And again, all of this is legal. Yeah, it's legal. That's why creators are calling this legalized extortion. I'm not saying it's extortion, of course. ANI does own the footage that they shoot. They can issue copyright strikes because YouTube allows it, and the Indian law also sort of allows it. They can demand money because they are running a subscription service. But when they go around demanding 50 lakh for a 10-second clip of Modi ji cutting a ribbon, you have to ask one question. Is this copyright protection or is this straight up bullying? Even YouTube sort of admits in a roundabout way that their system is stacked against the small creators. When Financial Express asked them about all of this, YouTube official statement was, YouTube works hard to balance the rights of copyright holders with the creative pursuits of YouTube community. It's not up to YouTube to decide who owns the rights to content, which is why we give copyright holders tools to make copyright claims and uploaders tools to dispute claims that are made incorrectly. That is what I call lawyer speak. It is a creative truth. In reality, the system is designed to protect YouTube's own backside from lawsuits, not to protect creators. YouTube is more scared of ANI suing them with their expensive ass lawyer army than a small creator losing their channel. That's the harsh truth. So, when Godani comes knocking on their door, waving their copyright flag, YouTube just shrugs and goes, hey, this is not our problem. You two deal with this. Take this new feature which lets you fight it out among yourself. Okay, YouTube Studio mein mil jayega. And then you, the creator, are left with a 50 lakh ka bill. Or worse, a dead channel. Is that worse? I think 50 lakh is also bad. But your channel is dead. That's copyright, that's the law, and that's how Godani is playing the game. They are simply... So what Godani is doing here has a pattern to it. There is a well thought out legal strategy behind it. A whole side hustle where ANI is basically trying to turn YouTubers into like a endless fountain of money for them. Let me recap and break down exactly how this works. Step 1. ANI slaps YouTubers with multiple copyright strikes. Often 2 at once, sometimes even more. Just enough to put you on the brink of channel deletion, making the YouTuber kinda desperate. Step 2. The creator panics. They get emails from YouTube saying, "Dear valued YouTube creator, you have 7 days to sort this out or your channel is gone." Years of work gone, audience gone, income gone. Step 3. ANI reaches out. Sometimes through back channels, sometimes directly, and they say,
Look, we can make all of this go away, but it is going to cost you. You did a mistake, now it is going to cost you. Penalty.
how much you ask?
15 lakh, 25 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh.
Because they decide the price. You can't say anything. There is nothing written there which is like, oh, ek copyright use karo to 5 lakh, 10 lakh. Nothing. They just quote a price based on your channel size probably. There's even a case where they told Mohawk Mangal's team, pay 45 lakh and we'll give you 2-year subscription at a 50% discount. Like they're selling some Netflix plans or something. In a way, they are telling people like Mohawk,
Okay, dude, you used our stuff, pay for it, but hey, we are kind of nice people, we are not that bad, you see. So you can continue to use our stuff for an year, but pay 45 lakh for it. If you don't, well, bye-bye. Bye-bye channel.
and ANI justifies all of this saying,
This is business.
This is my sweat.
I know, but I did business.
Shut up! Shut up!
This is business.
it's just business. I found Smita Prakash retweeting this opinion on Twitter. Creators are entitled. They will make 20 lakh in a single brand deal and claim to be the weak, marginalized Janta ka anarchist sevak guy when it's time to pay. ANI has every right to go after anyone who uses their licensed content for free. It's not a public service. It's a private agency that works on a subscription business model. They employ hundreds of reporters that go out in the world to collect news footage. The same news that your favorite YouTubers react to, monetize, and make their crores from. Crores? Okay. All from the comfort of their studios. I don't have an AC in the studio. It's very hot. I don't have money to put one. Anyway, crores! News channels pay for ANI's footage. Why can't creators? Does fame entitle you to perpetual freebies? Smita ji, with all due respect, creators are not news channels. Creators aren't using your footage as is. If I take your footage and put it directly on my YouTube channel and monetize it, then sure, that's copyright violation. We are taking bits of that and reacting to it, adding context, explaining it, breaking it down. That's fair use. That's criticism and reporting. That's exactly what the Copyright Act protects. Also, about the brand deals, just talk to any marketing person right now and ask them if they would give an advertisement to a channel that is legitimately covering news, which is like doing commentary against the government, being anti-establishment, and actually telling people the truth. I bet you 99% marketers will want a safe channel to invest in, like a travel vlogger or a cooking vlogger or whatever it is, or a comedian reel creator who does clean comedy, they won't invest in a channel like mine. They will never give advertisements to me. In fact, most channels that are doing political content in India are dependent on their communities for running their shoestring operation. Memberships, super chats are, at least for me, a major source of income. So please do consider supporting this channel. Oh yeah, there's that and ad revenue from YouTube. But then the copyright mechanism allows anyone to just demonetize it whenever they want. And also YouTube does it very often. Like if they find subjects which advertisers will be uncomfortable with, demonetized. मेरा तो हमेशा होता ही रहता है. What Godani wants to do is add to the problems and make it really difficult for people to cover politics on YouTube. If you are a YouTuber, you are caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, you are not getting brand deals for your channels. On the other hand, this copyright strike business will prevent you from getting even YouTube ads or community support because your channel will either be deleted or demonetized. The thing is, I have a sneaky suspicion that ANI is starting to see small YouTubers as their competition. Maybe, just maybe, they are afraid that the audience is shifting. Less and less people are watching Noida Godi channels anymore, especially since they are doing nonsense all the time, which means ANI is losing business. My feeling is they got desperate and tried to find another source of income, and what they came up with is this thing. Legal strategy, whatever. I must add, it's not like ANI is poor. It's not. They are a giant news agency business monopoly which has special access to our prime influencer. So this is not just about money. It's also about silencing dissent. On that, I have a bunch of thoughts. Okay, let me show you something. I was scrolling through Smita's Twitter timeline and saw something interesting. These are videos taken while our MPs are out traveling the world, telling them about Operation Sindoor and clarifying India's stand internationally. This is Supriya Sule, who is right now in South Africa. This is Asaduddin Owaisi, who is speaking in Riyadh. This is Shashi Tharoor in Panama. He has gone to USA, Colombia and other countries. This is Kani Modi, who is in Greece. She is also speaking about Operation Sindoor. This is a meeting of MPs happening in Congo, where they are interacting with high officials there. ANI has exclusive access to all of these. So, if I had to cover this story, I cannot use any of this. I cannot show you what our MPs are telling the world. I can't even use a 2-second clip even to just show you what I'm talking about. Just for reference. I can't do that. Even if I paraphrase the whole thing. You know what this means? ANI has exclusive copyright over what our MP delegations are doing around the world. How is this fair? How is it that this private news agency gets to go with MPs, cover everything they are doing, and sell it to news channels who will show it to us? Isn't this information that all of us should be privy to by default? I mean, it is in national interest, right? Why does ANI get to gatekeep this? Why? And why isn't DD News there covering all of this and providing us with videos? And that, my friends, is the big problem. This whole story is about a news agency that already has special access to Modi's tours, to Ram Mandir Sanctum, to foreign delegations, to corridors of power, all of that. Wanting to make sure that no one else can even comment on the footage without paying a 50 lakh ka entry fee. And it's about a government that is perfectly fine with all of this. On the surface, government is like,
ये creator economy बढ़ाना है, take disruptor of the year, creator of the year, take all these awards, we will build you an ecosystem.
But in reality, they will always be on the side of Godani. After all, if you can't stop people from criticizing you, you can at least make it so expensive and so risky that they just give up. They just stop. I mean, think about it. Godani could have easily asked Mohak Mangal and other YouTubers for the revenue that was made from the videos that they posted. They could have filed a copyright claim, not a strike. That would have also given a message to Mohak. He would stop using ANI stuff because otherwise he loses revenue and he will be more careful in the future. And everybody will be happy. I have myself received multiple copyright strikes from ANI about 6 months ago. Fortunately, it didn't go to like a channel deletion stage, but suffice to say, I got the message from Smita Prakash. Since then, I haven't been using any ANI stuff. I mean, why take Panga? They have like an army of lawyers. I have nothing. But what I didn't know was that it had reached a legal strategy level at this point of time. That it was happening to so many YouTube creators. Now that's a big problem. Here's the thing. If ANI was a decent company with decent people who go to therapy, they would not be asking for these channels to shut down. They are not a competition. They're tiny compared to the giant ANI. There are other more nicer, more moral ways to deal with this, but they actively chose not to do that. Because that's the game they are playing. No mercy if you are speaking up against the government. They want critics to be shut down. And unless we, the audience and the creators, push back, unless we demand fairer laws, better platforms, and a level playing field, this is not going to stop. If you are a creator, please speak up. If you are a viewer, support the creators you love, especially the few handful ones left who are still asking questions to the government. If you are someone from ANI who is watching this, guys, I know all of this is legal. I know you are not going to stop. But please, going after creators like this is not okay. Let us talk about things going on in the world, please. You do your business and let us do ours. Don't bankrupt us using lawyer power. And if you are YouTube, hello YouTube, do better. Yeah, stand by the creators who built your platform. We are the ones getting you all this money, all this eyeballs, all the audiences. We are the ones who are getting you ad revenue. Not the media monopolies who want to use your tools, the ones you have given, as weapons against us. YouTube, please help us deal with this bully. Do the right thing. I love you. Because at the end of the day, my nerd friends, the question is simple. Do we want YouTube to be a space for creativity, criticism, and conversation? Or do we want it to be just another version of Lashkar-e-Noida TV news channels? Which is just another playground for crony capitalists, the rich and the powerful, and the screaming loudmouth anchors and their panelists. Also samosas like Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Do think about that. I will see you in the next video.